fight and pick their target. The pin coming through, but it's jab out of mech. Sound barrier coming in through from the attacker's fissure, looking if they can collect part of the point. The graviton coming through, a fantastic combination here. Oh my god. Oh, it's a 5 for Supreme. What a fantastic combo there.
Oh, let's break it down!
Hello and welcome to the CGL Breakdown. I'm your host, Salt Pepper, joined by Headrammer, Alex, and Woody Calf. Matt, excited to bring this show to you. It says we gave was actually the playoff preview, and got a lot of exciting games coming up this week. A lot of really good matchups, and we're going to dive right into it. But first and foremost, Matt, Alex, how you guys doing? Glad to have you here. Yeah, another episode of the Breakdown.
Happy to be here, man.
Did we lose Matt again? Matt, you drop out on us?
Here? Am I here?
There we are. He's in there somewhere.
Hey!
You can answer.
Another exciting show on deck for everybody. Hyped to get into the playoffs. The most exciting time of the year. We have a lot of good matchups. So this should be a fun show to help everyone get ready for all the exciting Overwatch action we're going to have for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited for it. And before we get into too much, I guess obviously we're going to get into a lot tonight, guys, as far as the challenger and contender and rival tier matchups coming up later in the week, and one of them actually on Thursday. We'll get into that as well. But a lot of exciting news coming out from the Overwatch League, and we finally have a team that's announced some of the branding. Excited about that. It's Atlanta Reign coming in, and just name into this. I kind of like this color scheme. I think it actually looks really, really solid.
That logo looks pretty dang good. It looks very I don't know how to say it, like almost like magnificent.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Very regal.
You're right, Sultan. Very regal. Kind of with the Phoenix look. I like that. I love the color scheme.
So you cut up
Nice
arms.
silver with that nice red.
The deep kind of crimson.
Knock
Yeah.
this out of the park.
I think it looks really, really solid. Again, they appointed Brad Berjani the head coach, and I think that actually may have come out a little bit sooner, but with a little bit of background on him, I believe he was the coach of the San Francisco Shock, and then after the first season of the Overwatch League went and was working with a contenders team. So has a little bit of history there. Excited to see what they can do. Obviously, the Shock had a pretty good season last season, so if I'm remembering correctly. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm just convinced with all these teams, they keep making those color schemes in such a way that they want to extract the most amount of money from me. Like how much will I spend on skins that look really, really cool? So by the end of the season, I don't know.
Yeah, and a statement coming out from, I believe it's Atlanta Esports Venture, is the group that owns the Reign. It's Reign. And in their statement came out and said, we're excited to finally unveil the Atlanta Reign. We said at the beginning that we are building to compete. We chose a name that reflects that intention. We want to engage directly with Atlanta's passionate esports community and the city as a whole. So I'm excited about this. Again, I think the color scheme is really cool. I'm excited to see what the other teams have in coming in weeks. I know we talked about last week about Toronto doing their unveiling actually tomorrow. We kind of expected them to be the first, but a bit of a leak that kind of forced them to unveil, I think, from what I'm gathering. And Atlanta's the first one out. Toronto tomorrow. Got some exciting news about Paris. So, man, all this excitement ramping up to Season 2 of the Overwatch League. I'm ready for it.
This really sounds like it's going to be the week for announcements. I'm actually really excited to hear about all those things, especially hearing which of the leaks are real, which of the leaks are fake. We're going to see like a Defran on the team here. I don't know. He's definitely one that can get the leak saying he is, but then Defran is also saying no, which means which person is debating us, or just which person's wrong.
Exactly.
This helps you kind of until we actually get to OWL Season 2. They've actually done a pretty nice job keeping kind of the forefront of a lot of Overwatch talks tomorrow. I know Headrammer, you touched on the leaks, but if we want to say that, the one about the Venom with the kind of Oakland Raiders black and silver type scheme, Do you think that's the direction they're going to go in, or is that just an internet grab to get clicks? And
I mean, I hope it's real. It looks and sounds pretty dang cool. I was reading some Reddit comments, and some people said that like Snake kind of like relates to some of the entity behind it, or like some of the organization behind it. I don't know anything about it, so I could be being lied to, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, for those of you that I think may not be familiar with what they're referring to, that like Venom, the Toronto Venom was like a black and white scheme that came out. It was a leak that looks like just like a low quality screen grab or something. And somebody in one of the comments, right, said that maybe it's just perfect timing with the Venom movie and it kind of sounds cool and maybe it's like a popular thing and maybe that'll work, but maybe it's legitimate. Who knows? I think it would be kind of cool, but I'm not holding my breath on that one.
a different logo, because it really does look like the Shanghai Dragons, just a little more compressed, flipped, and a snake head instead of the dragon head.
Yeah. Not hugely convinced, but I mean, we'll find out tomorrow. I'm excited for their unveiling event, and I'll be the first to tell you that I'm looking forward to just all the branding coming out for all the teams, and Atlanta did not disappoint. I think actually they might also have they released a video as well. We can link that in the Discord. I'm not sure if I have it, but a really good just kind of launch brand video with a really cool graphic at the end. So highly recommend you go check that out on their Twitter. And yeah, just get the hype up for Overwatch League Season 2.
I don't know about you, but I feel like almost like this could be like a sign of like obsession. Maybe I just don't have a life. I feel like a little bit of a gap in my life without like the games every week. I've been expecting me to sit down, watch some of my favorite teams each week, and now it's just like I don't have that. I'm like, come on, BlizzCon, you need to come a little bit faster. World Cup's coming up. I don't know. Season 2 just sounds so far away.
It really does, and I do have the video. So you guys haven't seen this. It's just their hype video they built up. I hope every team has something like this that comes out. I know that Toronto's already kind of alluded to a little bit of their imagery in their Twitter, but if this is anything like what else we're gonna get from these teams, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, this is what the finals are gonna look like for the CGL finals next year.
Yeah,
right
okay.
here.
That'd be fantastic.
That's right. Will Drake be at Toronto's Overwatch party?
Is he supposed to be?
We should do some hype videos like this. That should be awesome.
That'd be fantastic. This is good stuff.
I
Obviously,
saw
they
on
don't
that
have
video
gameplay of their own stuff, though.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet video though.
Oh, I like the little like coming in the logo there. Looks
Right.
smooth.
It's good stuff. So anyway, that's that for Overwatch news, guys. A lot of exciting stuff coming, and we're all looking forward to it. Yeah, moving on to just kind of CGL news in general. Exciting this past weekend. If you missed it, the GM showcase for PlayStation 4 was on Saturday. A lot of really high level gameplay, and if you missed that, definitely go and check the tab over to the videos and check those VODs, because really good games, and really, like I said, high level teams, top 5, top 10 players. We had the top 2 teams on PlayStation competing in the semifinal. Really good games. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Sultan, you casted that. It was a great debut for CGL to branch out into PlayStation 4 Overwatch. So I hope people got to check that out, see the talent that's on the other console. Exciting to see, here and develop their own brand and make their own name under the CGL brand for PlayStation Overwatch. That was the them in and kind of just introduce people to the players, to the teams, and
Yeah,
maybe to see if any gameplay styles were different.
absolutely. Like each team kind of comes in with their own like. There's history in all these kind of things. Like when I was watching the Vegas versus Fusery game, someone in Twitch chat was telling me about kind of like the history between the two teams, and has a little bit of a rivalry back and forth. And just like knowing that background, it just made it made the game way more hype, and I was like super into it. And to be kind of, as you bring people in, you get more people involved with the teams. You get people that want to watch it. You could pick a side, root for a team. You just you get hyped, man. I was hyped, and then the production quality was like Sultan taking it to a brand new level with each major event. Those overlays were really nice. Especially,
Thanks, man.
I was a really huge fan of the 1080p 60 frames per second right in the beginning. Even if some people's Twitch clients couldn't handle it, I thought it was very pretty.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we wanted to do something a little bit different. Hopefully, maybe a sneak peek, wink, wink, to what you can expect in season 6. Try and ramp up production for everybody, and I'm excited about it. Obviously, a lot of exciting changes every week. We're trying to improve just for the community, and yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to try and think of the next thing that we can do to just raise the level a little bit.
Just imagine what we can do whenever Overwatch has the whole new replay system to work on. They talked about in the PTR, where we can full recam events. We can have people live in game, be able to switch camera if they want to. It almost can lead to entirely new production.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we also have a extra live stream coming up here on November 3rd.
Yeah, we've got a chance to do a few of these 24-hour charity streams. We've got some nice events planned for during the stream, and I don't know exactly what stage we're in of announcing that, but I've got some exciting things planned. That's November the 3rd, and the proceeds from that benefit children's hospitals. Again, it's something we've been able to do a few times now. I think this is a third 24-hour stream, and the community really comes out for it, and it's always just been a lot of fun. Matt, what were you going to say?
Touched on the fact that it is the third Extra Life event we'll be doing. Right on what you said, there's going to be some different things going on which we haven't really have been able to branch out in our previous 2 streams. So overall, I think this will certainly be our best one yet as we continue to grow, as our production values continue to grow, everything. And we have a lot of people behind this charity stream right now. A lot of fun, interesting things that will be on Twitch while we're raising money. So get out there, find people to donate if you can, participate as much as possible. It should be a fun event.
Looking to set new records for our raising goals. Thinking around a few $1 million would probably be most likely amount.
I would love that. That's for sure. Everyone's done a great job the first 2, raising money. Fantastic thing. We got in, to this whole project. Always thought it was just a good way to give back, and we're glad to continue to do it. And if the growth happens from 1 to 2, well, from 2 to 3 that it did from 1 to 2, this will definitely be even more of a staple for CGL going forward, and just excited to be able to have people so into this and want to participate in this.
Yeah, it can just bring people together for a common goal.
Yeah, so definitely come out for that, guys. We'll have a lot of information in the Discord as well about the events that we'll be hosting, and probably some of the things we'll be running, the streamers will have available, so make sure you're there for that. Just last thing on the GM showcase, a lot of it ended up being Huegas that won that, and the statement from their team in general, we got back and asked them, and apparently they renamed for the tournament, but also known as the Fissure, right? Elsewhere, Fracture, and then Fissure is the other team they played in that semifinal, and again, just really solid games. But just a quote from Huegas on the whole: huge shout out to Assassin Brain as manager of the team. He's done an amazing job at finding us the best possible players to form synergy with. Every team that Acid has formed has been a huge success, even though we love to goof off as a team. When it comes to winning games, we give it our all. Every team that participated has done a great job. We have to drive to outperform our competition. That's just what we do. And honestly, really solid gameplay all the way throughout, straight up to the final, and I believe they took down Cataclysm there. And just a comprehensive win for Huegas, so congratulations to them for that. And yeah, I'm excited. I feel like that was a good start to kind of opening the PS4 floodgates, so to speak, getting in new community members, and just kind of growing, as one unified group here.
Gotta bring our console brothers in.
Yeah, exactly. I think that just about covers it for you.
Well, actually, don't forget, CGL Happy Hour coming up tomorrow, Wednesday at 8 p.m. with Mr. General No Nips and Skate Action DJ. The bribes have successfully kept the show from being canceled, and it is now for week 3. This week, the guests on the show are Jay and Buck.
Just Buck.
We're curious to see what they have to say. Yeah, Mr. Sheriff Buck.
Yeah, actually, I really
Expect
enjoyed
a
being on
lot
the show
of
last
Jay
week.
bashing Buck. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, you're totally fine. Yeah, Matt and I were on the show last week, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I had a blast.
The concept of the show is just flat out awesome. I know when I heard about it, I was really behind it. It's just, it's chill. We present a lot of, like, this is a, fun but informative, serious show. Game we play is serious, so every time you're watching our stream, it's serious. The tournaments, they're competitive, everything's serious. So this is more of that, let's kick back, let's relax, have fun, and kind of get to know people better than what we post on our Discord server. So it was fun last week, just, sitting there shooting the breeze with you and No Nips over there, and, just such high IQ gameplay.
Yeah, we got to
So it was
see Sultan's point of view as he was trying desperately not to show us what was happening.
Oh, I was really trying, struggling, but trying my best. That's really all you can ask for, and that's all it is.
Right. We all support you, Sultan.
And I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. Because it was tough. Thrown in on the spot, I didn't realize that I would be streaming, and all of a sudden you gotta watch my god-awful gameplay.
Oh, so you're under pressure the entire time.
That's true. Yeah, moving right along, guys. The rival tier wild card. Say that 5 times. Was this right? Crushing it. Was this the only game this past week? And it was just a best of 5 in Lijiang. That's one of the tiebreakers. If a team is tied on maps and a win-loss record, then they go and if they haven't played each other throughout the season, or if like it's a win and win, then they do the wild card. Paranoia came out very, very strongly. Took the first 2 rounds very decisively. Ironclad able to pull one back, a very strong performance. But the issue with this game, it was just Paranoia came out and had flexible strategies. They ran a Bastion on a few comps or on a few maps, and the 4th map they played happened to be obviously one they had already played before and already run the Bastion. And I think that Ironclad didn't really adapt quickly enough or effectively enough to the comp that Paranoia was very clearly trying to run. They did go in and start making the Bastion a priority, but they would eliminate the Bastion, but then the rest of the team would just kind of fall around them, so they weren't able to offset the fight quickly enough and take control of it. So, you kind of see Ironclad coming through right here. This is a really good play for them, where they were able to push back through. They were kind of getting bullied in their own spawn area, and just came rolling back, and were able to hold that point. Ended up winning this round. So, they were able to fight back, and they showed some nice flashes, but ultimately, it was just Paranoia just looked like the stronger side, and they will face Aspire in the rival tier quarterfinals this week.
Yeah, it was just a really happy game to watch.
That's going to be a fun game to watch, and just watching back through this game, I was kind of expecting Ironclad to get it together and take that spot, but they came out and wanted it. Go up 2-0. Ironclad did a great job getting that one win and extending the series. 2-hole, you have to reverse sweep and get 3 in a row. Tough to do. So Paranoia did a fantastic job, kind of work out to that 5th round, and I just think they showed a nice flash of fury and focus early on and throughout this whole game. So that's going to be a very in the rival tier, that's for sure. See if the wild card team have great history in CGL playoffs. Of being successful. Let's see if another wildcard team can make a deep run again.
Yeah, and kind of talking about that a little bit as we go into the quarterfinals for the rival tier. You look at a Paranoia side that's coming in and kind of had an interesting season throughout. They their record against winning teams 1-4. I think one of those was a win against Shimada Armada, and I believe Shimada Armada started the season want to say 4-1, 3-1, something like that. So they were a winning team at the time, but ended up finishing the season 4-4. But we still count that for them. But other than that, coming into this game I would say good form. Obviously, they looked really good in this Ironclad game, but you end up going into a game against Aspire where, honestly, if Aspire didn't have to forfeit 2 of the first 3 games just because of player ineligibility, to be 7-1, and we'd be looking at them as one of the teams in this tier with possibly a first-round bye. So I feel like a lot of things could have gone a little differently, and I do think that Paranoia is going to have kind of the work cut out for them in this quarterfinal game.
I definitely think it'll probably be difficult for them, but I also think like just coming out with this win in your tiebreaker game, you can kind of potentially like ride that momentum with the hype, saying, "All right, we thought we were out, we're in. Let's just take this as far as we can, and ride that in and take down Aspire." I think it's definitely possible. Difficult, but possible.
If you're Paranoia, you gotta hope that getting that win in that wild card gives you that momentum to propel you forward. Second half of the season, including their Week 4 makeup game from Hurricane Florence, was 5-0. Now they're red hot, but they've also had a week off. Put some practice in. Did they watch that game against Ironclad for Paranoia? Game last week. A little bit here. They got some momentum. Can they keep that going on in this matchup? Definitely be an interesting watch and should be a highly competitive game.
Yeah, so I'll be watching it closely specifically because these relative games determine which team mine plays for these quarterfinals.
Yeah, that's very true. The trash can's coming in. You guys are the first seed, correct?
Yeah, we're the first seed. So if Paranoia wins, we will play them.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, if Aspire wins, they'll play with Kinetics, who I believe is the second seed and rival. But last thing I'll say on Paranoia, they actually played Aspire and lost 2-1 in Week 6. That was a makeup game, I believe, from Week 4, where they had to postpone because of Hurricane Florence. So definitely a tight game between the two then. We'll see if Paranoia's learned anything, or maybe Aspire's gotten a little bit stronger. I will say, just having watched Aspire's games and knowing how strong they are, if I got to put a prediction on this in a best-of-5 series, I think that Paranoia pulls one back, but ultimately Aspire take this 3-1.
Yeah, these are the types of games you want to come out with you want to come out swinging. You want to come out with the momentum, so that you don't almost have that pressure on your shoulders. If you can come out and get 2 wins right off the bat during your playoff game, and you're just thinking in your head, "Oh, we just need one more win." That's not hard. And then if the other team wins, we're still like, "Okay, we just need one win." But when you start down like 0-2 or even 1-1, then the pressure's running the entire time, and then it becomes so much more of a mental game. Can you guys stay in focus and form throughout these potentially really long series?
Yep, definitely.
You guys think this has the potential to go 5?
I don't know. Honestly, again, I think that Paranoia is a good team. I think that Aspire is a very strong team, though. And again, their record in this division is not completely indicative of their performance. Because again, those were games that they had already won. They had to forfeit retroactively, so they already proved they could have won the game. It wasn't like that it was just kind of yanked out from under them. Like they won the games and then had to forfeit. So that's kind of just the way it goes sometimes if you kind of find yourself in that position. But again, I see it as a 7-1 team, and I think they're actually my favorites to win this division.
You did say though there was 2-1 last time, so it's not like they got 3-0'd. They could definitely put up a fight to them. I'll admit my prediction is probably also for Aspire. But I don't think it's beneath Paranoia to win this game. I think they could take it to 5.
I definitely want to watch. I know there's a couple control points. Not to say that that's Paranoia's only opportunity. We just saw how well it performed on Lijiang, though, so definitely a possibility for them there. But yeah, obviously from a neutral point of view, you definitely want to see it go 5. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And again, with the control points we have there and just kind of the way the maps are set up, I think there's definitely a possibility for teams to be able to pull games back here and there, especially with switching offense defense. Teams going to have advantages. That maybe like a setup that plays better to their strengths and they can kind of get away with one. So maybe you're right. Maybe we'll see the 5.
All I know is I'll be watching either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change in the order of what order the maps will be played in.
You say where they changed?
I do.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The order that we changed that order, correct?
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Yeah, it should still be in the Discord. We'll be able to get that type of
Yeah.
Are you making up rumors?
I read a lot, so I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But I just think Paranoia needs to win the whatever order they go in. I know we do have a couple control points. They need to win one of them, and they need to win one of the first 2 maps. That's for sure. Because I think if Aspire gets rolling and they go up 2-0, they're the type of team going into the playoffs that will let a team hang around. Aspire's a team that'll put their foot on your throat and put you out of your misery. So I think Paranoia needs to come out strong, win one of the first 2 maps, and kind of, just you got through winning that wild card game and keep it going. And
yeah, I think I would agree with that. Looking at the other game in this tier, you got Shimada Armada, the 4 seed, coming in and Communism, the 5 seed. And this is another interesting matchup. Alex, I know you were kind of looking at the Shimada Armada clips throughout this week, and what do you think we'd expect from this team?
So I think this could potentially be a really, really interesting game. So Shimada Armada came out in this season very early on. They were very strong. They've been a team for a while, so they already have that team chemistry, and they already kind of they know each other. So they're a very, very strong team. So they've kind of fallen off a little bit as the season's gone on. I think you mentioned earlier they started out like 4-1, but then have lost a few games since, and they've kind of they've gone down a bit since then. Whereas Communism, they struggled a bit in the beginning, had some problems, and got their act together, and have been winning a pretty decent amount in this second half of the season. So I think this game will be quite interesting. I know Communism is they're a very, very smart team, and they like to plan and strategize a lot.
Yeah. And
I know Shimada Armada is a very they have good synergy with each other, and they are very mechanically sound when they show up. If things are on for them, you'll find it very difficult to beat them, because everything will just lie in the place and it'll work. So I think if the Shimada Armada from the early parts of the season shows up, I think they have a very good chance to win this game. Because it's almost like that battle sometimes where you have between just strategy and mechanics, or thinking and just doing. Because you might have this plan and know that back to back what happens you do, but you just start getting rolled. Your plan's out the window, and now you're scrambling and trying to figure out what to do, and then you just don't have a plan anymore. So it could be. I think this game could be very interesting. Right now, in the current state of these teams, I think I would probably predict Communism to win. But if Shimada Armada shows up, this will be a very good game.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to kind of echo that same sentiment. I think that Communism is definitely on the upswing and have a lot of momentum coming into the playoffs. Shimada Armada starting the season early and then kind of falling off was a little disappointing, and I think they kind of underachieved a little bit. So, they've got really good players, though. You think about the time they've had off in just the week since week 8, and maybe a little bit more time to regroup there. I know they're a team that schedules a lot of scrimmages, and so they're just looking for ways to shore up maybe some of those weaknesses that have kind of creeped in through the season. As it just gets kind of busy, right? Difficult to get the practice in, and sometimes it reflects when you're having to play those games. So hopefully we'll see the Shimada Armada from the beginning of the season, and we'll get a really good series from these two sides.
For sure. Again, the results of all these games affect what team I play. I'm going to be watching all of these like a hawk.
Yeah, definitely some really, really good games.
Eye out in Rival Headrammer.
I know, man. Yeah, I got all the VODs. I watch them. I do my deep analysis.
Oh, yeah. Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Just to add before we move on to in the second half of the season, Shimada Armada 1-3 in the second half.
It's almost complete opposite.
They 1-3, you said? Because they started out the season, I felt like, right there towards the top of Rival, and then it kind of they kind of settled in, and there were some teams that kind of pulled away a little bit.
Well, they didn't start
1-4, right? Oh, okay.
They were 3-1, went 1-3 down in a stretch to finish at 4-4. They get map points every game, though. So I think this one has the potential. Both of these teams show up. They're both very solid teams. I think out of round matchups, I think this has the highest potential to go all 5 maps.
Yeah, I think very little to separate these teams. It's going to depend on how much, how much, again, the momentum carries Communism through this game, or if Shimada Armada is able to shore up and kind of find their early season form.
For sure. I fully agree.
Yeah, moving on to the contender tier, we've got Boost & Co. facing Team Oof. Another matchup that I'm looking forward to. I think that Oof has played pretty well, but Boost & Co. first and foremost. Matt, what you got for us?
Their games, to me, they are that Yankees or the Boston Red Sox, if to use a baseball analogy, or kind of like the Los Angeles Rams, if you want to use a football analogy. They are a big play team. Watching through their games, they always had a big Reaper roll or a big clutch Moira ult. Their ults incredibly well. And I think playoffs, that's going to be a big thing, because ult economy is always an important factor in these games. And when you're, able to grab or drop down with a Death Blossom and get 3 to 4 kills, you're winning those team fights over and over and over again. Demoralizing blows to your opponents. So the Boosting Company, they're that home run hitting team. They're definitely a team to watch out for, especially as the 3rd seed going forward. I like their matchup with Team Oof this week, and I expect a lot of big plays coming out side, much as we see in all season long.
Yeah, and coming up against a Team Oof side that had a pretty good run coming into the season. And just a second, I'll pull up their kind of record for you. But yeah, coming in, they lost 3 in the center. They opened up with 3 games and started looking really solid. But they were facing kind of weak-ish teams to begin with. Then they go up against Boost & Co. actually. So these teams have played each other. But it was a Team Oof forfeit against Boost & Co., which I think is significant. And obviously we don't know who would have won that game, right? No way to really, but they never played it, right? So I don't know. I think, again, they play those games. Maybe the tier starts to look a little bit different. You look at this Team Oof side and relative to the rest of the division, and I think I have my notes here that they very deservedly kind of sit in the 6th seed, because this entire tier stayed incredibly tight. You look at the teams right below them that finished 3 and 5, and a lot of those late games in the season that really could have gone either way and completely mixed up the table. They never looked like world beaters in any of their games, but they beat the teams they needed to, and all those other teams just finished right below 500. So they just kind of settled right there in the middle and grabbed that 6th seed. 2 of their 3 losses this season were forfeits, and they were against teams that went on to finish higher than them, Boost & Co. and Excalibur. So had they played them, and where I think maybe Boost & Co. they would have struggled, maybe they wouldn't have got that game, but I think Excalibur is a winnable game. Had they played that game, we could see them a little bit higher in the table, maybe an easier path to the championship in the contender tier. Coming off 2 wins of the season, though, they should be in a good spot. Boost & Co. is one of the teams that never played, like I said, so we don't have a lot to go on. But Oof definitely earned every single win. You see some teams come in with forfeit wins that kind of skew their record a little bit and maybe make them look a little bit better than they actually are. And I'm not calling anybody out or anything, but that tends to happen sometimes if you have an inflated record that comes from forfeit wins. But every single win they got, all 5, they actually, they won those games. And a lot of them, actually, I think all 5 of them were 2-1 games, dating all the way back to week 1. And so, I mean, they know how to win the games they need to win, and I think that they're a pretty stable team. So they hit that 6th seed. The problem is, I think if any 6th seed is going to beat a higher seed in this in these quarterfinals, I think it is going to be Team Oof. Should they knock out Boost & Co., though, they have a date with Phantom Thieves in the semifinals, and that's also no easy task. So kind of out of the frying pan into the fire for this Team Oof team. Just barely able to snag that 6th seed.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely going up it's not an easy path to the finals. They're having to go up against Phantom Thieves, even if you win there.
Yeah. Oh well, and Phantom Thieves trying to that's a whole nother story, right? And we'll obviously get to them in the semifinal preview next week. But yeah, that'll be a difficult task for whoever ends up drawing that game. But going to the other side of the contenders here, we've got the, I believe, 4 seed Dad and the Lads against the was that 5 seed Excalibur. This is what we were just talking about, where it ends up being a completely different matchup had Team Move play those games. But neither here nor there. Excalibur coming to this game. Let's see.
I mean, both these teams are tied at 5-3, and with map wins at 12. So at least by their record, they're incredibly even with each other.
You know what else is a little crazy about this matchup? Dead of the Lads, the second half of the season was 1-3. Excalibur was 3-1.
Oh, so another one of these circumstances where they're back and forth.
Another one of these where it's the coin right now, but still ended up so even. So which team are you going to see in this matchup? Are you going to see that first half of the season Dad's team that was, executing really well and back and forth, or Albert team that's been playing impressive Overwatch the second half of the season? This is another really fun matchup. Excited to see how
they're so hard to predict, because you have a situation where obviously probably the one thing that comes to your mind default is oh, you pick the team that's hot now, but that doesn't always mean you're going to show up when it matters. At the same time, I get it's rare, but you could have a little bit of a London Spitfire situation where you're just all towards the end, all of a sudden you decide, oh, what do we have to lose, and just go full force at it and somehow win the entire thing.
You have teams that put themselves in a position early on, schedule a little bit, start clicking, and as teams that have roster changes or haven't been together too long, they're kind of figuring out how to play together. You can take advantage of that early on in the season, and then set yourself up to where, all right, we lose here, but we're still in a good spot. We're getting map wins, so it's okay. And then are also possible of turning it on in playoff time and just going, wow, where was this team all year? So these games, especially where you have teams that once hot and once kind of along in place, if that team that's struggling along in place wakes up, really flip the switch and get that team rolling, and then you're really not expecting that kind of performance out of them. When you're kind of expecting a hot performance from the team going into the playoffs hot, they get slapped around early and taken out of their game early, kind of ride through that wave of pressure and emotion and try to right the ship. But these 5-match series where, things could snowball rather quickly to come out hot and start the game playing your best Overwatch.
For sure.
Yeah, that will be interesting to watch that series as well. And a lot of the 4-5s, again, like we said, the team's so close to each other, it's going to be difficult to really separate those two sides. But coming into the Challenger games and the last set of quarterfinal matchups, before we get into full playoffs next week, we've got PCOW coming against Chaotic. And this was a team that around week 4, I believe, or week 5, when PCOW and D9 played each other, both coming in undefeated. This was a team we were trying to find just any way to split these two sides. PCOW would go on to believe finish 6-2, if I'm not mistaken, 5-3, and got the 3rd seed, so they'll be up against Chaotic, the 6th seed. And Matt, what you got for PCOW?
Peak out second half of the season, 1-3 down the stretch. Excuse me, played both them and Chaotic. PCOW, when they're on and they're playing, hard to finish those team fights against them. They obviously, just by playing them, their games, they obviously have very solid communication as a team, because you could be up a pick or two in a team fight. They will stagger back. They'll draw that fight out, get their numbers back, and pick you off, and then you're sitting there going, why didn't we win that fight? They had a pretty solid second half of the season schedule, and I know they had a forfeit in there too where, they didn't show up and weren't able to play. A team that maybe not so high on going into the playoffs, but if they play right, they're a very difficult team to beat. And to me, although they're a 3 seed, they could definitely be considered a dark horse and challenger.
Yeah, we do see the PCOW side that we saw earlier in the season. I think I've mentioned it before. After the D9 loss, they really struggled to get that kind of form back, and kind of interesting that we see so many teams coming in with disappointing records in the second half of the season. So I wonder how that's going to kind of play on them a little bit. And I mean, like we said before, momentum even in game and then throughout a season can be so important. So teams with momentum coming in can kind of gain that bit of advantage. So coming into, do you have another thing on PCOW? I was going to jump into Chaotic here.
I've read it in.
Yeah, Chaotic, another team that 5-3, but I actually think this is a little bit deceptive. They came in 3-1 start to the season, a little bit deceiving. 5-1 by week 6, even more so. An opening game against Alacrity team who would go on to finish 2-6. They got a forfeit win against Ragnarok, who would drop, and then 2-0 against a Void team that also dropped after a pretty disappointing start. So against teams with winning records, they're 0-3 and haven't really played a game that proves to me they can compete with the likes of Inner Circle or D9 up there towards the top of this division. Their victory against Somber Sexport was more about STS not really taking advantage of their opportunities. Like Chaotic capped a Full Sky A but couldn't get beat, which isn't necessarily bad at all, but they relied on their defense there to win. Then they lost Nepal, where STS was able to come back into the game. Then they full held Rialto and capped to win unconvincingly. And on paper, you look at that game on the surface and you look at the box score and you're like, yeah, that was a pretty good win there for Chaotic. But I think you watch the game back and you realize that STS just wasn't on their attacking best, and Chaotic was just able to kind of rely on their defense because neither team was really attacking all that well. However, they kind of turned it around because in the game against D9, they came out really strongly. They took King's Road to multiple rounds. They won Ilios, lost on Route 66, sealed the match. So honestly, this game, I think for me, against PCOW will come down to which Chaotic we're going to see, right? Is it going to be the highly mobile, aggressive Chaotic that takes the fight to the defense and really pushes in and is aggressive, or the kind of timid attack Chaotic that has to rely on a strong defense to win them their games? Throughout the season, the perception and reality of this team has been the opposite. When they've been perceived like they're doing really well, I feel like they've been coasting a little bit, and when it's looked like they're kind of in a tough spot, they've actually been playing really well. So they start 5-1 against weak teams. They lose the last 2 weeks of the season, but put on good performances against good teams. I think they'll be attacking first in Junkertown. The way the map shakes up, I think that they could really give PCOW a run for the money. That being said, like I said, I think for me, Team OOF is the only 6 seed that's going to upset this week, and I think that PCOW also takes this one 3-1.
Okay, so you think like if in order, this was almost like if Chaotic's supposed to win this one, it's kind of like a proving game for them to prove that like they have the ability to like move on and take on this like more powerful teams.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like I said, they do have really good players. And Milkboy, he's got a couple top players we've gotten to see before. Skate Action is on that team as well. Does really well to see Toronto playing tank for them. They do have good players, and it's just a matter of if they're able to come out with the really aggressive comp they've got. Milkboy, you can kind of see, even though this video is really tiny for some reason, how the Doomfist plays really well. They've got a Wrecking Ball player, and they've got a Diva, so they've got a kind of a hyper aggressive dive that they'll run in, and it ends up working really well for them if they execute it properly. So it's just going to come down to, again, the Chaotic that we see coming out in these playoffs. So
you either roll them or you feed.
Yeah, basically.
That's kind of aggression style. It's aggression style is really, really fun.
Yeah, well, and you'll be honest, like, I think in just a lot of the games in this league, I'll watch them, and if you have a team that is really coordinated and really aggressive, they tend to do better, but it takes that coordination because we also have a lot of teams that play a lot more passively and will punish poor aggressive pushes. So, again, it just depends on, that's like the chess game, right? That's Overwatch. That's who has the upper hand in any given team fight.
Exactly. It's never over until it's over.
Yeah. So again, my predictions there, I feel like PCOW moves on. I think Team OOF moves on, and I think Aspire moves on. But really exciting semifinal games on the horizon as well. Those teams waiting in the wings, along with the Carbon and Champion tier playoffs that will start next week as well. So, yeah.
Sure, and then we also in the same tier we got Don't Go Breaking Ironheart versus Drunkish Mudclan. So both these, interestingly enough, both these teams seem like they're on a little bit of a hot streak. They've all kind of like going on some wins here in the later half of the season, and both of them are again 5-3 with nearly the same amount of map wins. One has 12, one has 13. So by record, they're incredibly close with each other. And though last time these two teams played, if I read this correctly, though it was not a 3-0, I believe it was a 2-1. So I think this one will almost be a really cool kind of like rematch match. Like, can Drunken Shimada Clan kind of bring it back and defeat them this time? And I'm actually really excited to watch these. These are my favorite ones, kinds of games to watch. Is the match where like one team already lost, one team already won. Can one team maintain their dominance over the other one, or will I guess in the case the underdog will come back and take down that person?
And both of these teams are both these teams are well coached. DSC, who has been with a while, I want to say since at least season 2, and I know some of them were on season 1 teams. Their improvement and just difference as a team and how they play has been awesome to see. I believe being a member of STS, I don't know if we played Don't Go Break and Run Hard, but I know we played DSC in the last week of the season. You know, just very tough team. Really important. Them when we beat them, our tanks were able to kind of create a little more room, really allow our DPS to play off. So I think that's going to be a big difference maker in this matchup. Whoever has a better tank play and should win this game. But DSC also has that extra motivation losing to this team earlier in the regular season. Hopefully, all about your main tanks and how they play, and whoever creates space to give their DPS room to do some damage. That's going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, and DGBR is a team that I like, obviously just because I like the name also, but they were right there with Triple R trying to get into this kind of lower portion of the table, and were able to sneak in. So I think that that's a little bit of motivation too. They kind of have a bit of a late playoff push, and just having those, like, obviously the elation of making the playoffs towards the end of the season, like those last couple weeks, is always really, really exciting. So yeah, I think this another one, just a really solid matchup.
That's actually a good point to make, Sultan. DGBR has really been in the playoffs for 2 straight weeks now, already going into this, because to, get points and try to win their last 2 games to even get in. So they're already used to playing in these pressure situations right now. I think you're going to see a very feisty DGBR team come out early. So that's really going to be interesting to watch. See if, been in that situation where they've needed to win, if they're used to being, playing playoff style team play. Let's see if they can carry that. Let this moment become too big for them.
Yeah, valid point. Just having to be at that like high focus level right off the bat. So, but yeah. Alex, anything to add?
No, I fully agree.
Ooh, so then you know what that means.
What does that mean?
I think it's time for top plays.
Woo!
Top plays, and I don't know if you guys have the stream, so it's able to get you over there. But top plays, and actually you would have been so happy because I actually did replay it this time. If I actually have the right video though. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second.
Technical difficulties.
The suspense has to be killing you. See if I can find it. Oh man, and Alex, you were gonna be so proud because I finally doubled up on the clip so that you could actually,
Sweet,
actually
really?
see them. Right, I was gonna do it. There we go.
Wow.
There we go. Finally got it. And so sorry, but Ironclad coming through here. This will be the first one. This was in that Paranoia game. This is the one where Ironclad started looking like it came out early and looked like they could have been in a good spot. A bit of bait coming in with the Rocket Barrage in the tight spot there, and then just the whole team come back through, getting the shadow cleaning up nicely. And honestly, I thought it looked really good. You see that Fair's in the corner, right? Mercy's kind of sitting down there. Paranoia completely goes for it, goes to the Mercy, which obviously you should do. But the Reinhardt turns around, comes straight back through here, and they get the Shatter. It's a really impressive performance here from Ironclad. Obviously, they would go on to lose and finish their season. But in the same game, Shatter's the other direction. Is Vexside able to get around the opposite, gets a Shatter in through, and then they start cleaning up from there. This was in the final map of the game, though, so ultimately, obviously Paranoia goes on to win this and win the game. But yeah, just the work there. I feel like really solid.
All these shatters, man, they're so powerful.
So many Shatters.
I love a good Shatter as a Rhine main.
This one from the GM showcase, you've got Lightwolf here, who kind of sees the Widow over there. Their Widow just got picked, so he goes for that one, finds his opposite. Then their Mercy is low. This is a very heads-up play Transcendence. Dragon Strike coming through, able to save his team. And yeah, Insanity would go on and win that team fight. So yeah, and I mean, we don't get to see a ton of Zenyatta play, but just the left trigger from range to take down the other Zenyatta, save his Mercy, who's going in for a res with Transcendence, and the rest of the team from the Dragon Strike. Just really impressive performance from the GM showcase. Definitely go watch the game. That was Insanity and Space, I think.
Support carry.
Yeah, support carry for the second week. And done a few Ana plays too. Constant Entity coming in here. This is also for Paranoia, and I mean, you guys know me. I'm a sucker for good Doomfist play. And Constant putting on a little bit of a show here, able to get in the mix. And they got quite a few kills. This was in the first round where obviously you can see Paranoia on the cusp of capping, and actually Ironclad wouldn't be able to come back and touch the point after this. So got kind of wiped. Constant Entity giving him a little bit to worry about, and June Moon ends up being his first and last kill in that spree. So nice work there from Constant. Let's watch it again. See, June Moon right off the bat chases the McCree down, goes for it, gets him. And then just Doomfist play.
Yeah, Doomfist plays are so fun because that dude, obviously everyone's favorite hamster, has the name of Wrecking Ball. Doomfist is a literal wrecking ball when you
it's disgusting.
Rolling.
He's just a menace back there.
He comes flying out of nowhere. One hits the support in the back line. It's horrifying.
This was a late submission. We didn't get this one in week 8.
Tossing runs around like they're nothing.
Coming in, and a nice defense here from Panthera. Leo coming in on boosting code, just completely yoinked him, coming in right from the top section there. And I like the aggressive attack from boosting, but yeah, Panthera Leo coming in pretty aggressively.
You always got to check your corners, whether it be for a Shatter or for the entire enemy team being up above and behind you.
Your aggression, taking it right to the point. Well done.
There's like a
it's like they never
30%
even blink twice. Like, oh, there's nobody in the choke. Okay.
Yeah, right. Just aggressive attack. I think boosting would end up learning from that and going around the next time. If I remember this game correctly, I could be getting this completely wrong, if I'm being honest. But yeah, but there, Leo, solid in this one. And obviously, we saw the number one play here in the intro, the 5 from the GM showcase. This is another one where just a really good combination. They got the Div out of mech. You can see Supreme Aaron's combining well. Gets the
it's a 5 for Supreme. What
the quintuple with Joseph getting the Graviton. Really solid performance. Team kill there, and Fissure looking very, very solid. Cataclysm would go on to lose this game, but middle play in the final against Huegas and lost there.
Yeah, he was popping off on Terra. It was horrifying.
Just ridiculous.
So nasty.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Rarely do you get that perfect grab where you get everybody and kill everyone.
Yeah, by both of them. That's awesome.
I kind of lost my mind when that happened a little bit. We got upcoming games already scheduled this week. If you guys are looking for playoff action, there's already games on the schedule. The first of which, Thursday night, obviously tomorrow night. Don't forget, happy hour Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That should be a lot of fun. Jay's going to be on there. Just Buck's going to be on there. So definitely go and check that out. It'll be on the main channel. We got Skate Action, General No Nibs. Always a good time. Check out the happy hour. Happy to bring it to you. And Thursday, playoff action. Boosting Company versus Team Oof. The first playoff game, not including the Rival Tier wildcard. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on CGL Overwatch. And I'll be casting the game and look for another commentary. Actually, Alex, we might be able to. If you're free that night, man, we should cast that game.
Casting the Boosting Company game.
Yeah. Boosting Co. Team Oof should be a good one.
I think I might be able to work that.
Ooh. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, DSC and DGBR face off Friday night. Swift and Corbeck have the game. Another good combination there. That'll also be on the main channel. that's 8:30 Eastern on Friday. So that's a nice little Friday night action for you. And then we roll directly into Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, kind of a late game, but that's the rival tier. Shimada Armada versus Communism, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm also on this channel with skate action and general no-nips. Should be a really good slate of games, and obviously, you know, if you're in the stream schedule, you know these games are coming pretty quickly. So you'll know exactly when they are scheduled. And yeah.
And get your games scheduled if you haven't scheduled them already. Gotta get them done so we can get them streamed. And so you can win. Or I guess lose for some people, but win too.
Well, you know, the possibility to win is always, that's there, right? Gotta be.
Yeah. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. And someone has to get on camera.
Gotta get it scheduled.
Yeah, definitely get it scheduled.
Also, another reminder for our top plays, make sure each week you are submitting your top plays for the games. If you see a cool play that either you did in the game or you're watching the stream and saw a really cool play that you thought deserves to be highlighted, head on over to the Information Hub channel on our Discord. You'll see a link to a Google form to submit your play or someone else's play for being featured in our top plays of the week. Obviously, it was a little bit light for this week since this was our kind of bye week. So there wasn't many games to pull from. But I'm certain to see some really quality plays. Not everything's on the line for this next week.
Yeah, I like top plays, guys. We love getting the plays, and I was a little sad that we didn't have as many because there just weren't as many games. But next week, I'm expecting high level action. And again, your 1v1s are also eligible. The happy hours are eligible. So if you guys don't think that anything's off limits, there's a clip submission is in the Discord. So jump in there, send us your clips, and we'd love to see them. We'd love to promote them, throw them on social, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, send us your clips. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Send them in.
I think that will...
Wither them down to 10.
We want to judge you. We're just going to judge you.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to judge. We're here to judge. So submit your clips. You get that nice 3-piece with Battle Mercy. Clip it. Send
Number
it in.
1 instantly.
Well, and the also there's
automatic number 1. If you get a 5K with Battle Mercy, you will automatically be number 1 for the week.
That seems fair. That's completely fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's I believe we're going to give a gift card out to whoever submits a play that ends up getting the top play. So, yeah, make sure you do that. I believe it's a $20 gift card, I believe, to whoever gets the number 1 play. And we do vote on this, not just like an arbitrary choice. Like, we will take all the clips and through the breakdown, staff rank them all. It's all anonymous vote, and we rank the plays. So, I mean, anybody's got a chance.
Yeah, it actually sometimes the rankings surprise me. Where I'll vote like in our internal voting system for like a play that'll come out. It's like, whoa, interesting. I did not expect that. It's surprising for me too. I was like, I see the results come back to it, and I was like, I get to kind of like re-experience it myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's because I changed all your votes.
I knew it was rigged. I knew it was rigged the entire time. I knew it. You can never trust a man.
Just wanted to be upfront about it, I just want to let you know.
I appreciate the transparency.
Right. I'm kidding. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys joining. Obviously, Matt, Alex, always great to have you on. Watch the CGL Happy Hour tomorrow night, guys. Playoff games all week. Get your games scheduled. Should be some good stuff. But I think that'll just about do it for us. So like any closing thoughts, guys?
I want to see some quality games this week. I want to be sweating on stream. No, I don't want to. Sorry, Claire, I want to reword that. I want to see you guys sweating. I want to see you guys sweating on stream, so I can just be like sitting all hype. I want to be difficult for me to pick who to root for.
Yeah, exactly.
I might also be a bandwagon. That's not important.
I'd like to reiterate we are a family program, so no one's getting too sweaty or anything. But no, just good luck to all the teams. Congratulations for making it. Have fun playing Busan. It's going to be awesome to finally see that in.
Is it? Is it really?
I think so.
So that'd be awesome.
Just a
fun map.
Just want to stay for the record. If you have any problems with the quarterfinal maps, Nips made them. I was not involved at all.
the sole responsible. Yeah, guys, we appreciate you guys jumping in. Breakdown every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you guys next week.